Once we launch my purse line, we'll be on our way to giving the Kardashians a run for their money. I'm gonna shake things up.
A cycle of anger isn't healthy.
I'll be healthy again as soon as I make a couple of cheaters pay for blowing up my life.
There were a number of times when you or a member of your family needed a favor. This is a situation where you owe me one. Have a nice rest of your day.
It sounds like someone deliberately tried to hurt you.
Sounds like attempted murder.
Can't imagine how terrified you must have been.
CBS is plotting a daytime Sudsa crossover event this summer between its long-running The Young and the Restless and newcomer Beyond the Gates. The iNetwork announced Tuesday that 6 characters from Young and the Restless will appear on Beyond the Gates for a multi-episode event in June. Set to appear from Y&R on Beyond the Gates are Eric Braeden, Michael Mealer, Peter Bergman, Susan Walters, Melissa Ordway, and Brighton James. Here's the logline for the episodes. Longtime close friends Vernon Dupree, Clifton Davis, and the powerful patriarch of the Newman family, the legendary Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, arriving in grand style at Fairmont Crest, reunite at a high-profile political fundraiser. Over the years, Victor has backed Vernon's political campaigns, while Vernon has championed legislation benefiting Newman Enterprises, an alliance built on loyalty, influence, and mutual gain. Now, Vernon has asked Victor to serve as the keynote speaker for his grandson Martin's, Brandon Claiborne, fundraiser. The explainer continues, also in attendance are Kyle, Michael Mealer, and Martin, friends who first bonded in New York City after college. Martin extended the invitation to Kyle, who arrived alongside his parents, Jack, Peter Bergman, and Diane, Susan Walters. Abby, Melissa Ordway, and Devon, Brighton James, are also on the VIP guest list, with Devon fielding an unexpected business opportunity from Anita Dupree, Tamara Tunie. As the evening unfolds, a shocking event occurs, abruptly derailing the fundraiser and triggering dramatic consequences that will impact every guest in attendance. Making the crossover unique is that the 2 soaps are produced by different companies. Beyond the Gates, which launched in February 2025, comes from the CBS Studios NAACP venture, with P&G Studios a partner, while The Young and the Restless, which launched in March 1973, comes from Sony Pictures TV and Bell Dramatic Serial Company. Beyond the Gates, which airs weekday afternoons at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time, was created by head writer Michele Val Jean. Executive producers include Val Jean, Sheila Ducksworth, Julie Carruthers, Tracy Thompson, Leon W. Russell, Derek Johnson, Anna Saalfeld, and Leela Coffey. The Young and the Restless, which airs weekdays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Time, comes from exec producer head writer Josh Griffith and co-exec producer Sally McDonald. Also Tuesday, CBS shared a new cast photo for the full Beyond the Gates ensemble, as seen above. The cast includes, in the front row, Nudja Jackson, Brandon Claiborne, Colby Mohammed, Daphnee Duplaix, Tamara Tunie, Clifton Davis, Karla Mosley, Ariel Prepeti, Ronnie Rose Mantilla, Laura Buglioli. And in the back row, Jaden Lucas Miller, Mike Manning, Keith D. Robinson, Alex Alegria, Mokita Goings, Timon Kyle Duet, Trisha Mangrant, Amber Michelle, David Lamy Freeb, Sean Freeman, Jen Jacob, Ben Gavin, Jaiba Horges, Kenja, John Lindstrom. But Hayley was already sold. The allure of a pre-packaged, exotic history was too strong. She was envisioning pop-ups in Aspen, features in Goop. "Send me the mock-ups, Uncle Bill," she said, her voice dripping with a gravitas she did not possess. Claire, defeated, watched as Bill pulled a fast one so smooth it was practically a magic trick. He'd transformed Hayley's naive dream into a potential international scandal, all while positioning himself as the benevolent uncle. As he left, whistling a tune that sounded suspiciously like the Norwegian national anthem, Claire slumped at the table. He's going to get her sued by the actual Norwegian government. Or worse, by a herd of philosophically inclined sheep. Across town, in the sun-drenched, minimalist apartment that Joey Barnes shared with Vanessa, a different kind of tension was building. It was the quiet, tectonic plate-shifting tension that precedes an earthquake in a relationship. The trigger was a seemingly innocuous work dinner. Vanessa, a fiercely intelligent journalist, had a new editor, Leo, who was brilliant, charismatic, and, in Joey's privately held opinion, way too interested in narrative structure for a guy who edits think pieces about municipal bonds. At the dinner, Leo had repeatedly talked over Vanessa, dismissing her points about local infrastructure with a condescending, "What you're missing, Vanessa, is the broader socio-economic canvas." Joey, who had spent the evening trying to identify which tiny, foam-infused delicacy on his plate was the actual food, had watched Vanessa's smile grow tighter, her knuckles whiter around her wine glass. Later, in the cab home, she'd fumed. "He's an intellectual peacock. He doesn't edit, he just suffocates ideas with jargon." The next morning, nursing a coffee and a lingering sense of injustice, Joey found himself sharing the elevator in his building with Leo, who was visiting a friend. Leo, not recognizing Joey, was on the phone. "Yeah, the Dunphy piece. She's just not seeing the big picture. Great legs for local color, but no depth. Typical. We'll have to rewrite the whole thing." A white-hot fury, rare and all-consuming, shot through Joey. This wasn't just condescension. It was a direct, arrogant dismissal of Vanessa's talent, of her hard work. In that moment, Leo ceased to be a person and became a symbol of every arrogant gatekeeper who had ever looked at someone like Joey or Vanessa, people who didn't speak the right coded language and found them wanting. Without thinking, Joey stepped out of the elevator directly into Leo's path. "Hey, Leo." Leo, startled, ended his call. "Do I know you?" "Vanessa's partner," Joey said, his voice low and steady. "I heard you. In the elevator. Great legs for local color, but no depth." He saw the flicker of shock in Leo's eyes. "You want to know about depth?" Vanessa spent 6 weeks getting those interviews. She earned the trust of every person in that story. She knows the names of their kids, their dogs, what they worry about at 3 a.m. That's not local color, that's the story. You sit in your glass office talking about socio-economic canvases, but you couldn't find your way to that community center with a map and a guide dog. Her writing has more truth and heart in one paragraph than you'll ever manage in your entire, pretentious career. So before you talk about rewriting her work, maybe you should try reading it. And while you're at it, learn to listen. Sir. The sir was a deadly, final punctuation. Joey's chest was heaving. He hadn't planned a single word, but every one felt true and necessary. Leo was left speechless, a faint blush creeping up his neck. Without another word, Joey turned and walked to his apartment, his heart pounding a triumphant rhythm. He burst through the door, the adrenaline still singing in his veins. Vanessa was at the table, poring over her notes, looking defeated. "You will not believe what just happened," Joey said, his voice vibrating with righteous energy. Vanessa looked up, her eyes tired. "What?" "Leo. Your editor. I just saw him. And he was on the phone, talking about your piece, saying you had great legs for local color but no depth." He watched her face fall, the last of her professional armor cracking. "So I let him have it. I told him exactly what I thought of his pretentious, empty jargon. I told him your work has more truth and heart than he could ever understand. I defended you, Ness. I told him off." For a beautiful, suspended second, he saw it in her eyes. Surprise, gratitude, a dawning warmth. It was the look he'd been chasing. The validation that he was her protector, her champion in a world that